when people are trying to make change, mindset is clearly very important. And I just wonder if you could expand a little bit on why you think it's so important to have the right mindset. And if people don't have the right mindset, can they change it?
A fixed mindset, just for folks that aren't familiar, is when you believe that whatever talents, abilities, strengths, or skills that you were born with, that's it. Like you've either got it or you don't. And no amount of hard work, no amount of effort, no amount of training is going to make you better. It's just, again, you've either got it or you don't. And it's a very toxic mindset. It's a very limiting mindset. You kind of operate from this place of scarcity, from competition. It's just a lot of toxic behavior, thinking, and outcomes. A growth mindset, on the other hand, is when you understand that whatever you were born with in terms of talents, gifts, abilities, or skills, that's just a starting block. And you can absolutely grow and improve and become better over time through effort and through dedication and through failure. So you actually embrace challenges. You don't shy away from them. You look for opportunities to kind of test your skills and maybe even scrape your knees because you know I'm going to learn something and that's how I'm going to grow. So that's really kind of the core difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And so I think when it comes to learning anything new or changing our lives, 80 to 90% of the game is mindset. Because if you don't believe that it's possible to change, you won't. If you do believe that it's possible to change, that's again 80 to 90% of it. The mechanics of any change, of regaining your health, of starting a business, of getting a relationship back on track, of feeling better in your day-to-day life, I don't think the how-tos, quite honestly, are that complicated. They're usually not. In some rare instances, absolutely yes. There are some things that, again, as a society and collectively, we still have a lot to figure out. But making some profound changes in your personal life on a day-to-day basis, we know what to do. You just have to believe that it's possible and then have the follow-up and the follow-through to see it happen.
Today, in the 21st century, in the era of technology, when every day we can see what our friends and what people around us are achieving amazing things, our daily life can never, ever live up to the highlights of someone else's Instagram reel, frankly.
Well, so let's talk about comparison for a moment, because I think comparison is creative kryptonite. You are never going to come out feeling good when you compare yourself to others. It's always a losing proposition. So that's one thing to recognize. You know, when I was in college, I was a party girl and I liked to party a lot. And I used to go to the bar and drink this awful liqueur. It was called Goldschlager. It was flavored like cinnamon and it had these gold flakes inside. Terrible stuff. And I remember just drinking way too much of it one night and just completely thrown up in the bush. And the reason I say that is because, you know, having a Goldschlager hangover was horrible. You just felt so sick for days. These days, people do shots of Comparschlager online, on their Instagram feed, or floating around the internet, or wherever it is that they kind of consume all of that comparison and doing shots of Comparschlager. And then for days, if not weeks, they're off their game. They're not really creating. They're not rooted in their own gifts and talents and the difference that they want to make. They're like trying to bounce off what someone else does and thinking through their own life in terms of how they're measuring up or not with people around them, which again, completely takes you off track. So I think that it's important to recognize how you feel after you engage with your phone, whether you do it through blogs, social media, whatever your kind of poison is that you like to go to. And then I would invite people to just stop. You know, you don't have to pick up your phone. You don't have to scroll through the social feeds. And if you find yourself being lost in a Comparschlager hangover, you have the ability to end it. You really, really do. I would say that choose some people that really help you to feel inspired. And then most importantly, spend the vast majority of time creating, not consuming. One of the best habits you can build is to create before you consume. So rather than wake up in the morning and scroll your feeds or take in your email or look at the news, create a stronger mind through meditation or start writing the next chapter of your book or get a workout in, like create a stronger body rather than just consuming passively the work of others. And if you just build that habit in, anytime you're going to go to consume something, is there anything you'd like to create first? And if the answer is yes, do that. And you'll see before you know it, the ratio will shift where you're creating a lot more than you're consuming. And then comparison becomes a thing of the past.
In all those interviews that you have done, are there common themes that come up from a whole variety of different people in different industry doing different things? Are there some common themes that you have learned that all of these different influential people are doing, or sort of principles that they are applying in their own lives?
They believe that they can make a difference, meaning that their contribution, their voice, their ideas, their product, their service, whatever it is that they're up to, they actually believe in it. Like they believe it has merit and value and that it could actually make a difference. And I've seen that to be true across the board. So again, it could be an author, it could be a scientist, it could be someone who started some kind of business or a creative in any sense. There's something in them that believes that they have value and that that value is worthy of sharing. Whenever anyone says, like, what do I have to offer? Everything's been said before. Everything's been done before. All of these other people who are so much more experienced or accomplished, they've already got it in the bag. There's no room for me. Here's what I would say to you. Think back to Oprah in her early days. What if she said to herself, you know, this Phil Donahue guy who's got all these talk shows, he's really got it covered. There's really no room for me. Why should I do this? He's already done it all. Or think about, let's say, Beyonce. Right? Can you imagine her just going and looking out in the music landscape and going, you know what? There's already enough pop stars. There's just all the world ever needs. Why am I going to sing my songs and dance my dances and add my voice to it? It's all been done before. Or I think about this in a really small and acute way. So I love eggplant parmesan. And I have a particular restaurant in New York City. It's a tiny mom and pop kind of shop. It's called Pepe Rosso. And I often think about, like, can you imagine when whoever started Pepe Rosso, they started it and they were kind of unsure. They said, you know, it's New York City. There's enough Italian restaurants. There's more than enough eggplant parm. We don't need to add our eggplant parm to the mix. I would have missed out on so much eggplant parm goodness if they didn't add their voice and their creation to it. And what people don't realize is that when you have a dream or a gift, a product, a service, a message that you want to create and share with others, if you don't actually bring that thing to life and do everything in your power to share it, you are stealing from those who need you most. Why? Because there never has been and there never will be another you. Your genius is unique and your DNA is unrepeatable. And if you don't do everything you can to follow those dreams and to share your gifts with others, the world will have lost something truly irreplaceable, which is you.
Press subscribe to get more inspiration and ideas on how to feel better so you can get more out of life. And if you have a moment, why not check out this conversation that I've picked out as a perfect follow-up. Remember, lifestyle change is always worth it because when you feel better, you live more.